Hey everybody, it's B.Chavez. I am fortunate enough, dare I say privileged enough, to be here at the Juji Mufu headquarters, the secret bat cave of Mufu. I don't really know the name of this, but it's an amazing facility, and it's an amazing opportunity to be here. And we're just filming some goodness and some fun. And one of the things that comes up a lot is, as I'm aging and as my injuries get worse and worse, I'm trying harder and harder to move away from just constantly loading myself with heavy high bar barbell squats. And so finding alternative exercises is, I say finding, they're all found, they're all discovered. I'm not Magellan off discovering new lands, but finding of the pantheon a palette of exercises out there, ones that I can supplant and switch and swap. And then once I kind of land on an exercise, my nature is just to constantly refine it and tighten it and perfect it. So this is just some quick tips and ideas that I found on a replacement that I'm constantly trying to fit into my programming, which is the split squat, the one-legged squat, the Bulgarian squat. There's a million names, but it's basically a fixed lunge. And Mr. Juji Mufu is going to demonstrate, and then I'll show you why this is relevant for a video and why it's actually content worthy. So just what you can see is that is a squat. He's bending at the knee, he's bending at the hip. It's a squat. There's nothing really fantastical about the concept of one-legged squat other than one leg, so you got 50% of the force production. But what I really want to illustrate to you here is the mechanistic approach. We're in a squat rack, or a power rack in this case. In this case, a fantastic ghost rack. I realize most of us, myself included, don't have the opportunity to use a ghost rack. But what I want to show you is this idea of using a squat rack, using the existing structure, which is the uprights, putting one high to give him a nice, stable, equal gripping surface or positioning surface, and then a lower rack, which again, you can fiddle with this adjustment, but the point is this rack will never change. This rack is made of steel. It is fixed. So if you know that number and you know that number, you can always get this set up correct. And then the only real modulating difference is you could take a little nub of chalk and mark his front toe. Just bend over with a little mark and just mark. And then every time that hand is in the same place, that foot is in the same place, and that foot could be in the same place. That way, you've taken a fairly eclectic, ethereal, hard to define exercise, and you've quantified all the major functions. You know the height of his hands, you know the height of his feet, and you know the forward or backward position of his feet. And now, this has now become from an ethereal, unquantifiable, ballet-based exercise to a very quantifiable machine of an exercise. I think that has deep, deep value, and it adds a layer of repeatability and consistency to something that otherwise doesn't have it. I will point out the downsides of this. The downside is because you're turned sideways, it would be hard to unrack a bar and carry load. So now maybe you're forced to one-arm dumbbell or positioning plate, or God forbid, perhaps just exploiting higher repetitions and not load. I will say some racks, and this is something you would have to explore individually, some racks do allow for the hooks to be put interiorly. So it's possible that you could have a safety bar or Hatfield bar on the inside of the rack, but that would be something that would be very independent depending on the brand. If you're lucky enough to use something like a Ghost, you can do that. If you're just using the garden variety high school gym rack, maybe not, but just having this very quantifiable positioning, super valuable.
Good.